Good evening. I just uploaded my little tour around the office. I'm going to go sit here and read through a bunch of stuff as quickly as possible so I don't take up too much time. Now, what I have to say, it's all there. What I have to say is not for squeamish. This is part of my mental health homework, okay? So please don't discriminate and flag this, alright? I'm going to be reading how child abuse, mainly sexual abuse as a child, interferes with not human behavior, obviously human behavior, but the adult behavior and adult intimacy and sexual behaviors, okay? How they're related. Some of this may sound familiar, some of this may sound disturbing, some of this may sound unwanted, but I'm sharing this for myself. Like I said, I expect 0 people to watch this. And every little thing I'm posting is going to add up in the end. I'm building something up. The childhood abuse is also related to veteran mentality. Okay? A lot of abused kids go into the military. Okay? Now, I'm not going to be covering veteran issues in this video, but I am going to be linking childhood abuse to adult behaviors. Okay? So, childhood sexual abuse can lead to a variety of adult sexual behaviors and difficulties. Survivors may experience sexual dysfunction such as difficulties with arousal, intimacy, or sexual anxiety, as the trauma can make any sexual experience feel unsafe or uncomfortable. These struggles are often linked to the way the body and the mind react to the trauma from childhood. Additionally, survivors may develop disassociation during sex, which is linked with greater sexual dysfunction and higher compulsive sexual behavior disorder. Intrusiveness during sex and pleasing the other during sex can also be linked with higher compulsive sexual behavior disorder. Childhood sexual abuse survivors are more likely to engage in risky sexual behaviors such as having multiple partners or engaging in unsafe sex acts. These behaviors can serve as coping mechanisms to numb emotional pain or regain a sense of control. However, these coping mechanisms rarely address the root cause of the trauma and can create additional challenges in life. So, survivors may also exhibit compulsive sexual behavior such as excessive pornography use as a way to cope with the unresolved trauma. These behaviors can offer temporary relief but do not address the underlying trauma. Childhood sexual abuse and adult hypersexuality. Childhood sexual abuse, CSA, has been linked to adult hypersexual behaviors, with research indicating that individuals who experience sexual abuse during childhood may develop compulsive sexual behaviors as a coping mechanism. Studies have found that CSA survivors are more likely to engage in risky sexual behavior, excessive pornography use, and other forms of hypersexuality in adulthood. Research suggests that the age at which sexual abuse occurs can influence the type of sexual behavior developed later in life. Early onset of of CSA, particularly before the age of 7, is a significant predictor of hypersexual behavior. However, the relationship between CSA and hypersexuality can vary by gender. For instance, in a study of Sweden adults, sexual abuse before and after age 18 was associated with high hypersexual in women, whereas only hypersexual abuse after 18 was linked to hypersexuality in men. Theories explaining the link between CSA and hypersexuality include the idea that survivors may use sex to reclaim control, again, lost in childhood, regulate distress, or cope with trauma-related symptoms. Additionally, neurologically, early sexual victimization may impair right hemisphere brain function, affecting emotional regulation and interpersonal connections, which are characteristics associated with complex sexual behavior. Treatment for individuals with complex sexual behavior who have experienced sexual abuse may benefit from trauma-informed psychotherapy and pharmacotherapy. This word is too big. Pharmaceutical therapy, meaning drugs, pills, which can help them understand the impacts of abuse on their sexual behaviors and develop healthier patterns. Child sexual abuse and adult behavior. The CSA has been associated with complex sexual behavior, CSB, in adults. Studies have shown that individuals who experience CSA are more likely to engage in risky sexual behaviors and may develop complex sexual behaviors as adults. Research indicates CSA can lead to various negative impacts, including sexual disturbances or dysfunctions, depressions, and anxieties. The severity and duration of the abuse can influence the long-term psychology and behavior outcomes. For instance, survivors may struggle with trust, intimacy, forming close relationships due to the betrayal and trauma experienced during childhood. Some studies have found that adults with a history of CSA are more likely to exhibit compulsive sexual behaviors such as excessive pornography use or risky sexual encounters as a way to cope with underlying trauma. However, these behaviors often do not address the root cause of the trauma and can create additional challenges in life. Okay. What's not saying in that part is in the main article. Okay. Additional challenges in life is addressing other sexual behaviors that are not good. Okay. Prevention efforts should focus on individuals who have experienced CSA and or other types of maltreatment, particularly if they report engaging in risky sexual behavior. Public campaigns aimed at reducing stigma and shame are recommended to encourage help-seeking behavior. Additionally, clinical reviews examining CSB should assess for CSA and other types of abuse and trauma-informed psychotherapy and pharmacology. May help individuals understand the impact of abuse and problematic sexual scripts and develop new patterns of behavior. It is important to continue investigating the relationship between CSA and CSB to develop specific theoretical models to help to understand and prevent CSA and its consequences. Okay. Sexual abuse and complex sexual behavior. Complex sexual behavior and compulsive sex. Research indicates that, okay, this is the part that ladies are going to flag me and say, fuck you, you're wrong. But this is research and I found multiple research articles through peer-reviewed journals. So it's fact. They found it. Okay. Research indicates that women who have experienced childhood sexual abuse are more likely to exhibit compulsive sexual behavior. A systematic literature review found that most studies identified a significant association between childhood sexual abuse, CSA, and CSB. Although the relationship can vary based on the severity of the abuse and the specific measures used to assess CSB. For instance, a study by Null et al., I'm guessing that's Italian, French or something. I have to double check that, but anyway. In 2003, found that women who reported a history of CSA were more preoccupied with sex, younger at first voluntary intercourse, and more likely to have been teen mothers than those without a history of CSA, even after adjusting for mental health and demographic factors. Additionally, less severe forms of abuse were associated with higher sexual preoccupation. The review also highlighted the prevention efforts should target individuals who have experienced CSA and other types of maltreatment, particularly if they report engaging in risky sexual behavior. Information on warning signs of CSB should be distributed in healthcare settings. Meaning, to assess this, you need to go to a mental health professional, okay? Which also includes the assessment of sexual abuse treatment centers, online support groups. Furthermore, the impact of CSA on sexual behavior can be complex, with some survivors engaging in compulsive sexual behaviors while others may avoid sexual activities altogether. This duality can manifest as sexual I can't pronounce that. AMBIVALENC. I'll have to look that up. Next one. Childhood abuse and adult partners. Research indicates that individuals who experience sexual abuse as children may have altered patterns in their adult relationships. While specific data on choosing younger partners is not provided in the contents, studies show that survivors of child sexual abuse are more likely to engage in unhealthy sexual behaviors and may face difficulties in forming and maintaining healthy relationships. For instance, women who were sexually abused as children are about 4 times more likely to develop symptoms of drug abuse, experience post-traumatic stress disorder as adults, which can affect their relationship choices and behaviors. These patterns can be influenced by traumatic sexualization, which can impact an individual's sense of sexual satisfaction, feeling, and actions. Additionally, survivors may struggle with trust, intimacy, potentially leading to unconventional relationship dynamics or choices, such as choosing partners who are significantly younger. It is important to note that while these trends exist, the impact of child sexual abuse on adult relationships vary widely among individuals, and many survivors do form healthy relationships. Now, this last part saying that they may form healthy relationships, okay, if you are in a age gap relationship, that is not a healthy relationship. It is not. Okay. Now, I spoke on compulsive lying disorder the other day. I couldn't remember the word, but I got it. Okay. We're doing good on time. Good. Compulsive lying disorder, also known as pathological lying, is characterized by a habitual and persistent pattern of lying without a clear purpose or benefit. Okay. Now, this first line, okay, every guy has experienced this, of a woman absolutely denying something, even if it's right there in front of her, okay? Or profusely lying about something like a narrative, okay? Like, she was supposed to come home to me, but she lied for the last 2 years. She's been married. And she was still trying to talk about our future together. Soon, near future. I'm like, fuck you. Anyway. Again, lay it out. Drop it. These things happen when people are trying to protect what they have or hide what they have. Okay, I'll get to that part too. People with this disorder often lie frequently and consistently about both important and trivial matters, and their lies are not always elaborate or fantastical, but can be simple and designed to deceive or manipulate others. I got played. The term pathological liar is sometimes used interchangeably with compulsive lying. But there are suitable differences. Pathological lying is often considered a symptom of deeper psychological issues such as personality disorders or neurological conditions, while compulsive lying may stem from an irresistible urge to lie, often as a coping mechanism for anxiety or insecurities. Okay, so the anxiety and insecurities, okay, is the denial and the sticking to the narrative, okay, and this is also basically wrapped up in saying the same thing here. They're trying to protect the narrative, what they have, or to try to hide what they have going on in their narrative and still feed you the bullshit. Okay? Compulsive lying can be linked to various mental health conditions, including anxiety disorders, obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, and personality disorders like narcissistic or antisocial personality disorder. Not now, puppy. It may also develop as coping mechanism to deal with childhood trauma or low self-esteem. Treatment options for compulsive lying often include cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. Okay, cognitive behavioral therapy is a very big statement right there. Okay, the whole point of mental health is cognitive behavioral therapy to help you understand your behavior, and the therapy on how to change. Okay? Which can help individuals address the underlying issues and develop healthier coping mechanisms. Habit reversal training and technique used in treating disorders can also be effective in helping individuals stop the automatic response to lie instead of tell the truth. If you or someone you know is struggling with compulsive lying, it is important to seek professional help from a mental health professional to address the root cause and develop strategies to manage the behavior. Let me read that last part again for all of the copycats that are given advice and all the people with only a life coach certification trying to give advice and shit. If you or someone you know is struggling with compulsive lying, it is important to seek professional help from a mental health professional to address the root cause and develop strategies to manage the behavior. It is not just the compulsive lying, it is the entire statement for all mental health issues. Okay? Now, some basic lying that they will do. Okay? I accidentally deleted. Oh, there it is. Okay. I just had to mix up. Lies cheaters do. Okay? Cheaters often resort to various lies to cover their infidelity. Common lies include minimizing the importance of the affair, claiming it was a one-time occurrence, or asserting that the relationship was purely platonic. Oh, he's just a friend. Well, he's just a friend. Sure. They may also lie about their intentions. Playing me, breadcrumbing. Okay? Such as saying they're never intended to hurt their partner, or that they were not getting enough sex from their partner. Additionally, cheaters might blame the person they cheated with, or claim they were not in their right mind at the time, intoxicated. It's a lie, it's an excuse. When confronted, cheaters might act defensively, lie about their details of the affair, or even deny it outright. She denied even being married to him. Denied even living in the same house, denied even having any association with him, denied buying his family house with her VA loan. That's how bad people will lie. Like, it was that bad. Oh, man. Hoping to avoid further confrontation and maintain the relationship or maintain the narrative. Cheaters may also lie to themselves, rationalizing their behavior and justifying their actions to minimize guilt and maintain their self-image. Okay. This part also pertains to the choosing of very young partners. These lies are often part of a larger pattern of deception that can be difficult to break even when the cheater wants to be honest and make amends. So in most cases, like she did, she just went silent because I called her out on all the bullshit and corrected her every time she started lying. She don't like that. 5 lies. Blaming the partner, claiming they're not good enough, or whatever. Denying any infidelity, minimizing it, projecting guilt on others, creating alibis for whatever. It's just basic shit. What's breadcrumbing? Breadcrumbing is a form of manipulation where someone gives just enough attention to keep another person interested without any intention of committing to a relationship. Fuck you. This behavior can occur in various contexts, including romantic relationships, friendships, and workplace. But it is most prevalent in romantic contexts, especially with the rise of online dating. The online dating wasn't me. In a romantic context, breadcrumbing might involve sporadic text messages, phone calls, or social media interactions that do not lead to a deeper connection or commitment. The breadcrumber might imply that the person is needy or asking for too much. Claim they have no idea what the person is talking about when hurt feelings are expressed, or frequently talk about how much they take care of or do for the other person to avoid taking responsibility for their lack of effort. Yeah, she claimed to have been there for me, but not once, not for anything. Not even for $50 over the phone, like, hey, I got stranded on the side of the road. Breadcrumbing can be intentional or unintentional, driven by a need for attention, fear of commitment, or low self-esteem. People who breadcrumb might have insecure attachment styles, such as avoidant or anxious attachment. Okay, avoidant or anxious attachment, which can lead to unintentional breadcrumbing. The impact of breadcrumbing can be harmful, causing confusion, frustration, emotional distress. It can also lead to self-doubt, loneliness, and negative outlook on relationships. So, for Miss Breadcrumber, fuck you. This last statement is exactly what you did to me and multiple others. So fuck you. If you suspect you are being breadcrumbed, it is important to assess whether the relationship is fulfilling your needs and to consider ending it if it is not. Seeking support from friends, family, and therapists can also be beneficial. Breadcrumbing differs from ghosting to fading away, as it involves giving just enough attention to keep the person interested rather than completely cutting them off communication completely. Those are just the articles from what I already read. Okay, so with all that said, I said fuck you to one woman because she deserved it. She knows how I talk, and I'm gonna drop it. I still care about her. I still respect her enough, but not enough to bring her back in my heart. She's done there. She can sit on the shelf. Elf on the shelf. You want to put me on clearance rack? All right. I'm a Walmart shopper. I seen some fine ass woman at Walmart yesterday. That was nice. Very respectable dressing too, not skanky. Mm-hmm. She's wearing a sundress. Mm-hmm. It's sundress season, ladies. I ain't gonna say the last part. I ain't a dog. But I'm sure you know what I'm thinking. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that little education of my homework. This is going to be put together with other things. Now, mind you, the research I was doing, it only talked mainly about women doing these things. It's only because that was more prevalent within the research scope, okay? They did not aim for that. They found that, and I only picked the research articles that were aiming for a general consensus of child abuse and effects on adult behavior, okay? This was not aimed at women to narc them down or disrespect the lady that I said fuck you to, okay? She knows I'll tell her fuck you to her face and then say I love you 5 minutes later, okay? So it's like that. All right. So again, with your own emotional state, get that shit out, let it out, drop it. Okay? I ain't upset. She did those things. Whatever. That just means I'm free to go watch the ladies at Walmart. I got a number the other day. She's fine as shit. She's only 2 years younger than me. So she's 42. And she has 4 kids. And they're all girls. That's some ponytails right there. Holy shit. Damn. Anyway. Y'all have a great night. I'm gonna go check on the puppies. And close all this stuff out. Call it good. Good night, world. Where's my button? There's my button. Later.